Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. We are going to be previewing the actually let me get to the right screen as I get you guys up here. Um we're going to be previewing Texas versus Arkansas. So huge still a lot of things on the table for Texas for very many different reasons. Whatever you believe, whatever you are tracking. I know what the head coach has said this week via the media publicly and whatnot, but regardless of that, we got to talk about the actual game, right? Because I have a lot of opinions in terms of what we are going to see come Saturday afternoon, and I want to break stuff down with you guys, learn what you guys are seeing, how y'all feel, and yeah, let's focus on ball today because we've strayed away from so many other things, and I know how frustrating it is coming off of the Georgia loss, but we cannot. This is not the team to lose focus against. A, it being a rivalry game. B, being Arkansas, despite their record, again, we always talk about styles make fights on this channel, but this is an Arkansas team that since I'm only looking at them since Bobby Petrino has taken over because we're going up against the Bobby Petrino in charge Arkansas uh, Razorbacks, and you're talking about a team that's only I think they've only lost one game under Petrino by more than one score, which is the Auburn game. They lost by I think 9 points. All the other games they've lost, and yet they've lost them all. But we're talking about last week LSU rivalry game, 1 point game, and we know LSU was being coached by Frank Wilson. Shout out to Frank Wilson, huge win for him, emotional win for him as that brother getting a win, first interim coach win for him. LSU was very emotional, but it was a 1 point game. They've lost several games by a field goal. They've lost pretty much every game except for Auburn by one score. We're talking about whether they're on the road, whether they're playing Ole Miss, whether they're playing Tennessee, doesn't matter, right? They've been hanging around in these games. So this is not the time to lose focus. And in my opinion, and as you guys are coming into the chat, hey, what's up? What's up, Homer? Good to see you here, my brother. What's up? What's up, guys? The usual suspects here in the chat. Just want to show some love real quick, and it's free to show love. If you want to show love to this channel, hit the like button. Subscribe. The whole bit is free to show love. Help a brother grow. If you want to help a small YouTube channel over here, try to get bigger, try to reach more people. Help us join this community. I appreciate you guys all. So let me throw out my little thing beforehand. Now, with that being said, in terms of what I see, this is just what I see. You JB, man, you always catch me at the worst time, bro. You always yo, he deserved the win, dog. Let that brother have his piece, okay? You did not have to bring that in right when I'm about to make my freaking point. I'm about to block you, JB. Be on my bumper with the exact thing to make me crack every single time I'm about to say something because we think so alike. Shout out to the brother JB. Anyway, except when it comes to your sorry ass New York Giants. I don't remember what I was about to say. Oh no, we were talking about Arkansas. So look, breaking this game down in all seriousness, I'm trying to set the table here. I'm with you guys on trying to go 2-0 and go 9-3. And Sark can give the most passionate speech to the committee after Thanksgiving and the whole bit. I'm with you guys. Uh, but at the end of the day, we got to go on what all I can go on is what I've been seeing from Texas, what I've been seeing from Arkansas. And we are a mess and we're about to play a bigger mess coming into Austin. But that mess coming into Austin has nothing to lose. They this they could exercise so many demons if this can't be the week that Arkansas figures out how to win a close game. This can't be the week. I am hoping from a motivational standpoint, A, us just being at home, B, knowing the season is super on the line, and C, Sark and crew and this team rallying together and sending a message that this program is not in jeopardy, sending a message that there is that while the season may not have gone the way we wanted it to go, we are still here about developing players. We still are ballers. We still got that. Yeah, I'm serious because right now, when we look at the overall performance recently, the last three games, his defense has allowed over 30 points a game. Texas defense since Kentucky, going back to after Kentucky, right? Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Georgia all scored over 30 points against us. And we're about to play a team that while the team is bad, their offense is not. We're about to play a team in Arkansas that averages more points per game than we do. They average 32 points per game, which is 24th in the country. They have a top 25 offense. We only right now we're down to 26 points per game, by the way, which is nasty for a Sark offense. But we got to get this should be the game where offensively for Texas they get back after it, right? Because is explosive and as impressive as the numbers are for Arkansas offensively, their defensive numbers and what they've shown on film have been putrid. I mean, look at the LSU game last week and some of the open field tackling. It was like they literally there was some plays where LSU could just walk for 15 yards. So this should not be a difficult game to run the football for Texas facing a team that is now ranked. Listen to me. Arkansas coming in this game right now is ranked 120th in the country in rushing defense, in rush defense. So there should be no excuses for Texas, for the offensive line, for the running back room, for the whole Texas offense to have a very, very sound, productive running game come Saturday afternoon. There's no excuse. Oh, and by the way, they're also ranked in the, I think, 105th in pass defense. So if y'all want to get vertical and go through the air, and Arkansas is a little bit better about at least making some plays on some of the shot plays, and they have a kid that has like 8 sacks, and they have another guy that's got a couple picks. Like they're a little bit better there, but for the most part, that's food too. Point being is the offense. This should be the get right game for you guys because y'all have the matchup in your favor, but big time. Y'all have the matchup in your favor. Go do something. Now the defense has their hands full, and I don't hear enough people talking about this. Okay, I know we're really good against stopping the run. I know we've had our issues with the secondary. The run game and all that is a little bit different when you're facing a guy like Taylor Green. And I know we faced them last year. The difference last year, I mean, and now, we're playing Petrino, but the other thing with Green that's going to be a little bit different is it's not a tradition. It's kind of like defending some variation of like Pavia or some of these other guys, but Green averages 70 yards on the ground himself. He has the most 20 plus yards plays so far in the SEC. And we probably won't have Anthony Hill. And we're good. Yeah, traditional run plays. You want to even Georgia. You want to run between the tackles until we got tired. I mean, we were holding up decently. I thought last week, even in the especially in the middle quarters, right? But as the game wore down, the whole defense wore down. So that's one thing. But Petrino's able to leverage that and create explosives all over the field. And he has a quarterback. He has a trigger man that can do that. And depending on what I mean, you want to talk about Jekyll and Hyde for the Texas team. Their quarterback is Jekyll and Hyde too. I mean, he has 10 interceptions. He can be very turnover prone. He was very reckless with the football last week. One of the picks he threw, the one he threw to Delane Mensor on LSU, who's a super good corner. Glad we didn't see him this year. It was in red zone. That probably was more on the receiver, not crossing face. It looked like he wanted him to go inside of the corner and through it. It was one of those miscommunication picks because that kid Blake was from, I think he was from FAU under Tom Herman before he transferred to Arkansas. But that kid didn't come across face. But that kid's a good receiver too, Omega Blake. I watched him when he was at his last school, the conference that they came from. So there's a lot to deal with here. There's a lot to deal with here for the Texas defense. I think this is a big challenge for them, and I think this game could potentially turn into a shootout. I really, really do. Now, I do think there's a scenario where Texas could be smart, play clean, and take the air out of the ball and just dominate time of possession, really dominate the line of scrimmage. I see some softness and quit in Arkansas. When you really, really execute and you're on your stuff, you can make this team tap. But nobody's done that since Notre Dame. By the way, for those of you that are playoff people that think we still have a chance, this is a common opponent with Notre Dame, is it not? So if you're over here saying that Texas at 9-3 should make the playoffs over a 10-2 Notre Dame, they better beat the shit out of Arkansas. You don't go over here surviving against Arkansas while Notre Dame went to Arkansas and got their coach fired and beat them like 58-14. Because this is a common opponent. And we're actually playing two straight common opponents, are we not? A&M next week. So maybe that cancels itself out. If we beat A&M and they had won that, then maybe the Arkansas thing is no longer a conversation. So I'm just the psychology for the playoff people. I'm not there. I'm just talking about the game, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Having to hype ourselves up to beat Arkansas is nasty. You know what? We should be hyped up to just play better. How about that? We can't be above Arkansas right now, guys. Here's my thing too, and I'm gonna get to the comments after this. I want to make this quick point. The reason why I want to win both these games really, really bad to stop the noise, to at least get right going into next year's cycle, so people feel better about Steve Sarkisian, the head coach, and all the noise we talked about that. And I thought we made it very clear at the end of our video on Monday, regardless of what is being talked about, we want Sark here as a head coach. I don't want to go into this cycle ideally, I want him here as a head coach. But I also know how noise can be and how things can change if shit starts to go off the rails. It can change very, very quickly. So, with that being said, first piece here is I would like to see us play some young guys. I'd like to see us. One of the reasons being is I think we need a little bit of a spark at home. We have, Anthony Hill's injured. Also, if you're an older guy making mistakes, what's the difference with the young guy making mistakes? I think they can give us a spark. And B, we got to start recruiting next year's roster. I'll be damned if I lose some really talented players on the back end that we never even got to see because they didn't get an opportunity and stuff went sideways and now they're gone and become assets for somebody else next year. So I'm not saying a complete youth movement like we're rebuilding, but I would like to see us if guys got to earn their way on the field. They got to practice and well and all those things. I get it, but there needs to be, to me, a more concerted effort these last two games to play some of these young boys that could potentially help you, right? Just in my opinion, like, to me, you can start to create buy-in for 2026 now. I'm not saying you're playing for 2026. Please understand what I'm saying. This is just my opinion. But if there's I'm gonna throw out some people: Khalid Lockett, French, Terry, Justice Terry, Michael Terry, Jonah Williams. We already know Grayson Littleton plays a lot. We know Lance Jackson plays a lot, right? Nick Towson, some of the running backs. Pick one. Give them some opportunities. I'm not saying they got to carry a full load, but can they play at all? Especially in our games. I mean, come on. We got to, or else, what hope do they? Because then we're going to go into 2026 and be like, well, we don't know if they can play. What did we learn in 2025? Yes, these are. I agree, JB. They're must-win games. Yeah. This is. Let me look at the chat here. Horns always up, fellas. Horns always up. Brothers and sisters in here. 10-win season is still in reach. Yeah, it is. Depending on what bowl game we go to, or if a miracle happens. I think we're still at a 25 to 27% chance for the playoffs. Again, I'm not talking about playoffs because they haven't shown me on film that they're a playoff team. But we know that technically they're still in the mix. All about where our heads are at. Exactly. This is, I was listening to SEC Unfiltered, those guys over there, and they were talking about this being a culture game. I think it is. I don't disagree with them. I think earlier in the season, we had a culture game and against OU, and brothers showed up big time, right? So I agree. Unfortunately, after, this is what happens though, and this is why I think we are going to score a lot of points on Saturday. Every time Sark gets his, and I'm not talking about that, but I'm going to tell you in relationship to the game, every single time Sark's stuff comes up with the play calling and him needing to get an OC, all of a sudden he come out flexing. All of a sudden we scoring on the opening drive. All of a sudden the script on point again. So I think the offense should be good. Now to Homer's point, I talked about how bad Arkansas is against the run. Homer said, "Hey, we're 100th." Steve, by the way, just throwing that out there, we are 100th in our own rushing offense. And Homer, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we're last in the SEC in rushing as well. I think we only average like 71 yards a game or something like that. So that's bad. But LSU couldn't run the ball for shit either, and then they ran it super well last week. So I'm banking on that. I'm banking on we've had spurts. I'm banking on the fact that I thought we ran the ball better when we made the last adjustment with our offensive line. So if we can't run the ball versus this Arkansas team, that's a whole nother can of worms. That's where I'm going with it. If we can't run the ball against this is one of the worst rush defenses we've seen. Especially coming off of a game where you only ran it 10 times and you average less than 2 yards per carry. An LSU team that could not run the ball, they struggled. And they have better backs than us. LSU has better backs than us, but they've been struggling too. We got to pop off versus Arkansas. And when I say pop off, I'm talking about a solid run performance. I'm not saying we're going to run for 250 yards. I'm just saying, can we get back to 5 yards a clip? Can we be in second and twos? You know, where can we skip the third downs? Um, but again, like I said, every time people question Sark, that's when he comes out. And you know what? This is since he wants to be in the ego genius pissing contest. Well, you know what? You're about to go up against another genius on the other side. Now a genius who's a genius, but he's probably shouldn't be around college kids and is probably an unhinged person in real life, and Bobby Petrino. So we're about to have Sark versus Bizarro Sark. We're about to play Bizarro Vince Young wearing number 10 on Arkansas. It's like Vince Young without the swagger and confidence and all that, but with like the raw prototype, Taylor Green, who I mean, now if the wind blows a certain way, all of a sudden he gets scary. So this is going to be an interesting game. I think so, because we haven't shown consistency to where we're just going to come out and handle business like that for 4 quarters. I thought we were there against Vanderbilt until the fourth quarter happened. I really did. I thought we were there versus Vanderbilt, and then I mean, guys, we only have one SEC game at home to even go off of. Think about that. This schedule this year was really weird for Texas and how the away games and home games shaped out, because we're here on November 20th. We've only played one SEC game at home. So I don't even have enough to go on to say we're some juggernaut at home. I mean, everything we've played so much away from DKR. It's crazy. He's VY 1.0. He's VY. Oh man. That's the training wheels. He's like O2 VY. before with with no coaching, just straight out of Madison High School. The Taylor Green experience. You'll we didn't really get it last. He was injured last year, so I don't really count that, because we in terms of what we'll see with Petrino on Saturday. What happened to Sark's offense? This is the worst version since 2012, if not the worst version he's ever had. I think we'll find out more in the offseason. And that needs to also be married to what the improvements will be, what the fixes will be, so that we can hopefully have a much productive, much more consistent offense moving forward. I agree. And to me, Trey should be better used when he's in a rotation. I don't think the expectation was ever that Trey Wisner was just a bell cow. He's not even built that way. It's a good back. Um, I mean, we used CJ Baxter like one time last week as a fullback. That was it. Didn't see him. I haven't. Did Simon leave with with Gibson? Because I thought I thought Gibson left so that other people could get more work, like the young, like. And I thought Simon was referenced. Has Simon got a carry since Jared Gibson left for hit the transfer portal? What the hell happened? It just went to two people. All of a sudden, Christian Clark. When's the last time Christian Clark got a carry? Y'all remember the lies that were told about him in the offseason, about him being one of the best players? What the hell happened? Where are these people at? Did they also hit the portal and I missed it? Am I not doing a good job? Bro said Gibson took Simon and Clark with him. Where the hell are they? You're telling me they can't spell somebody for a series? They can't they like we're that bad where they can't even be on the field? What happened? Or else why did Gibson leave? He left and then the people behind him, nobody gets to play? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Somebody needs to explain that to me. The quote, look, the quotes tell themselves. John Wayne, thank you for the super chat. Yo, what's good, Fanatic family? Belt to ass, no excuses. Let's go, team and coaches. Grab your effing nuts, please. Yo, um, sometimes you got to pop out and show a naysayer. We only got 2 games left, y'all, and I know everybody wants to pile all their emotions into A&M. Part of my problem this week is that we've talked about everything but Arkansas. And then when we do talk about Arkansas, it's in a very disrespectful manner, as if they, as if we're playing some G5 scrub that we can just walk through and get straight to A&M. And I'm here to say, I hope that is not the energy in the locker room. I hope, like, we're talking about everything. I'm glad we're talking about this now. And we're going to continue to break it down because I want to talk about their running back, Mike Washington. Some of the other guys we're going to see, right? I mean, we got it. If you prepare for these guys the way you should be preparing for the Georgias of the world, blah blah blah. Yeah, John Wayne, you can get. There's a belt to ass in there somewhere. If you prepare and do what you're supposed to do. The problem is we've come out explosive against some of these teams and then we've let off the hook, or we go to sleep and then we wake up late and fix the problem. But we have yet to come out BTA for full quarters. I have not. We have yet to come out BTA for a full 4 quarters. We even took time off in the OU game in the first half. We did. So every game they've taken off at some point. And then they come back to work, they clock back in and they do it. I don't want to ever hear all gas, no brakes ever again. That statement needs to go in the Texas football cemetery right next to the cake is baked, right next to winning is hard, right next to 1-0. All gas, no brakes. My ass. Anyway, if they do it on Saturday, that will be the first time we've seen it. How about that? If they truly go BTA, 4 quarters BTA, not OU, we did it for a half. If they go 4 quarters BTA, that will be the first time this season that we've seen it, at least in conference. Like, and when I say we take time off, I'm not saying we have like a bad series, a bad drive. We take whole quarters off. There will be a whole quarter in there where we didn't do shit. We take at minimum a quarter off. So at minimum, you're only playing 45 out of the 60 minutes. Now now it's like, bro, what do we do with the 75% we in there? What are we doing? That's how we play. Anyway, that's the other thing too. For the playoff people in here, you know the eye test matters too, right? Because I can't wait to hear y'all's predictions. You can start dropping your prediction for the game in the chat. I'm gonna say this: the over/under for this game is 57 points. I think it's going to go over. I'm very concerned about our defense, especially if Anthony Hill's not playing. Because Bobby Petrino couldn't give a shit about anything. He's going to come in here and do some stuff. Now, his team stinks, and they may not execute. We'll see how they execute. But he's been in the 20s and 30s every single game he's coached. So they're going to get something. If we want to truly go belt to ass, we got to do what Notre Dame did, and was just touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Like CJ Carr was surgical against them. They made it, and that was an 0-2 Notre Dame at the time, and they made Arkansas look like a JV football team. They made them look so, like, literally They scored every freaking drive. And it was overwhelming. That's how you go BTA on somebody. Does Texas offense have that ability? Do we have that type of I told y'all, we average 26 points per game. They average 32. And not 32. They average 32. We are not a playoff team. Right above, somebody said we are a playoff team. I love our fan base. I'd rather go 9-3, end on a high note, and not make the playoffs and start the offseason evaluations to load up for next year. I'm not going to say no to the playoffs if they want to throw us in there. There's teams that shouldn't be in the playoffs that make the playoffs in every sport. That's not my point. I'm just saying if I was on the committee and we want the 12, I don't think we're one of the 12 best teams in the country right now to be out here competing for but sometimes that's the case. And again, if they show us something we have not seen, and all of a sudden Texas is magically this complete football team the next 2 weeks, and it's like, well, we just haven't been playing at home. Like we just make up some excuse. Maybe things will be different. But I try to live in reality, and reality is like, yo, I need to try to sell this roster. Like people on this roster that I know I need, like, or because that would just be money down the drain if dudes start jumping ship that we paid a lot of money for, and it was year one. They didn't get on the field, and I was like, shit, that was it. I think we can keep up and score. And I'm hoping we can maybe dictate tempo, but that also requires coaching. Somebody pay Gary Patterson $2 million a year. That's a good comment. we need that GP surgery again. He came and fixed the problem, and then a few years later, the problem got undone, or the problem's back. GP's like Orkin. You gotta come in and make sure that no new nest or no new rodents are in the house every now and again. Got to do your quarterly checks, and if you don't, all of a sudden there's rodents in the house again. That's Gary Patterson. He can come in and fix that problem for you. GP's like cybersecurity software. You're like, damn, I got to pay for that? Yeah, you got to pay for it. But you ain't going to get no malware. Then the year we don't pay for the software, which is GP or whoever, next thing you know, it's like, oh, shit, I got viruses and shit all over my computer. They stole my social. You got fraud going on. All sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. I don't know why they changed your name, bro. Is this Marlon? I thought Young Switter is. Are you? Looks like I thought it was Marlon. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Neto, guys. I don't know what happened to Neto. If y'all can hit me with some of the conspiracy theories, because some of the conspiracy theories on this football team are outrageous. But Neto seems to be one of the true unsolved mysteries for those of you who are he said yes, fool. I'm just saying, I'm just making sure it's you, bro. I don't know what happened. You clearly didn't have that GP virus protection, bro. That's why your name got changed. Redacted. not the redacted. Sark is too emotionally attached to our starting backs. Yeah, I mean, that's the I, yeah. And I love Trey. He's a dog through and through. I need if we had more guys that cared about the game and played the way Trey Wisner does, it'd be great. But he has his limitations, and he's more effective in a role for this team, not as the we need you to do everything. We can't be there with CJ on the real estate license. I rebuke that, Marlon. I'm not even going to put that up there. Shout out to Mia Davis. She just got drafted for the softball drain as well. Zena took Neto's powers like the Monstars. Marlon, don't put that on here. You'll get blocked. Don't do that. We can't even like beat around the bush anymore. It used to be. It used to be back, man. Are, was 2023 and 24 already the glory days? Are we already there? I hope not. I hope this is just a one off, and we're going to be right back in motion in 2026. Are we already there? We used to joke about this stuff that we used to kiki on, but we were whooping people's ass, so it didn't matter. You're right. We did have all gas, no brakes in the Big 12 championship game. All right. Yeah, since Tech and the Big 12, that was the last time we saw a true all gas, no brakes. We are gonna beat the shit. We've had BTA against other people, but it's been like, I mean, but like A&M game last year, we were dominant on a side of the ball. Like defense was built to ass the whole A&M game last year, right? Or OU, the defense was built to ass, blah blah blah. But he said, nah, the Tech first quarter wasn't good. Doozy Price said, to hell with the culture wins. Tell my grandkids about 23 and 24, Riley said. Those were the good old days. Back when we were the dominant wolf in our circle. Now all of our ops look good, bro. And we out here fighting for our lives. Damn. To hell with these culture wins. We're gonna look, nobody would look, we gotta also put this in context, right? No one would be down about I don't think we'd be talking about the Kentucky overtime wins and all those if we came out and performed well in the big games consistently. Right? Like we okay, Vanderbilt top 10 win, not gonna negate that, but let's be honest, it's not the same as going to Athens and facing Kirby. It's not the same as going to Columbus and facing Ohio State and Ryan Day, right? But we scored a combined 17 points between going to Columbus and going to Athens. Right? We scored 17 points. So we're averaging 8.5 points? Again, like when it's really, really athlete on athlete, mano a mano, 5-star versus 5-star. That's that's our offense this year. Dog Makuba turned Gunner Stockton into Joe Burrow, just like Just like that kid on UCF that hit Joe Burrow. Do y'all remember that in the bowl game before the season he went crazy? He got blasted just like Gunnar Stockton, turned that boy into a monster. That's crazy. That's a funny one, Homer. But yeah, we gotta like that's where I'm really critical of Sark as a play caller, as a offensive guy, right? Is those games. The biggest games you don't cook. I know, and look, again, it's not all scheme. It's not all he got boxed up, blah blah blah. We know about the drops. We know about the missed throws, the execution in these games. We know all these things. But if we also scale it over the course of since he's been here, his offenses have been underperforming in in these type of games, right? I mean that's the truth. Like significantly underperforming. So, you know, just something to pay attention to. Now the good thing is that's not necessarily the case. I mean, A&M's going to be 11-0, but we'll talk about A&M when A&M gets here, but you should be able to put point you should be able to move the ball. Even in that game. This game coming up, again, offense has the matchup this week. To me, I'm gonna say something right now. With all the drama going on, as shitty as they played offensively last week, they scored 10 points. They played shitty last week. They had one touchdown. So whoever's fault it was, and it was everybody's fault, they didn't play well last week. You had 10 you had 10 times where you actually ran the ball for a buck nine. So with all of the frustration and the way that they came out and showed improvement offensively versus, the second half of Mississippi State, really the whole Vanderbilt game offensively, we were very, very sharp. They should score 40 plus points on Saturday, or I'll be concerned. I'm gonna put it out there. I know LSU won 23-22 last week, but LSU's defense is right now still solid. They have a lot of NFL guys over there. Different flow, different type of game. I think the type of game we have, we should score 40 points this week. The defense we're about to play is atrocious. Like we should be able to come out here and throw our we've started the last like 4 games with a screen or wingo. We should be able to beat them on shit like that. I'm serious. Or else it's not everybody's fault but Arch. Now here's my thing with Arch. Arch is improving. The improvement with Arch to me is obvious. And I personally believe that Arch came to play last week. I think there's another world if you're an MCU fan in another part of the multiverse. Arch comes out, all those throws that were dimes get caught, and now he's balling. But what happened in Georgia for us turned into what they call an incursion. If you watch Doctor Strange, what happened in Athens, we didn't get another. We're living in an incursion where our universe is colliding with another one. So we are in. This is tough times for what we signed up for. Okay. At other programs, these might be called champagne problems, but here at Texas, with the amount of money that was spent and what we're our expectations for all these players, it's been frustrating. But I can say unequivocally, Arch has been improving, without a doubt. That goes to show you, like, the offense is bigger than one person being a problem because he's improved so much. Yet in August, when we went to Columbus, we scored 7 points, and he improved so much. And Arch is this, and this, and he is. And we scored 10 points against Georgia. Like, I'm laughing because it's not. I'm laughing like I'm Arthur from the Joker, and it's that's what you better do this offseason, JB. I don't think we can ever take the portal for granted again. And don't ever let anybody gaslight you to talk about y'all don't develop people in house. It's not about that anymore. It's about having the best people right now. So if you want to say we don't develop in house, I don't care if I'm still winning. You know who else you can say that about? A&M. What receivers have they developed in house? Does it even matter at this point? You got two freaking proven guys. Doesn't matter. Georgia, like Arkansas is in the hole as a program and recruiting. If we can't stop them, we're gonna see Sark smoke a Newports at DKR. Y'all let me know. So somebody had okay, Dimple Wonder. That's actually what Marlon, what you just threw out there is what Homer actually wants. I just told Homer that that oh no, never mind. Homer was saying we should go for Bobby Petrino to be the OC, which would be dope, but he'd be like the same reliability as Billy from White Man Can't Jump. You know, he has good intentions. He's trying to get back on track, but the hustle and the game and the unreliability of life is calling him like the Green Goblin's helmet. If Bobby Petrino came here, he'd be like Billy from White Man Can't Jump. We'd come out and probably drop like 45 on Ohio State, and then the next week he's MIA, like literally physically MIA. What is going on? I like Bobby Petrino as a play call, as an offensive guy. He still got it, but like, damn, I can't trust that guy. It's crazy that he's running a program right now. We would need to put an ankle monitor on him. Hey, Homer, if you want Bobby Petrino here, he needs to wear ankle monitor if he's going to be in the 5-1-2. He can't be here without us knowing where he is at all times. He would literally be like Billy from White Man Can't Jump. Billy, what are you doing? You lost all our money. but he would pop off versus Ohio State. I'm gonna tell you that. If Billy if Billy was here organizing the offense for the Ohio State game, we've leveled up. But for that one night, we would be with our weapons and Arch. You give Petrino Arch, and Sark is overseeing everything, and Sark is the true CEO. PK, oh, we beat the shit out of Ohio State. And then the next thing you know, Bobby Petrino hasn't reported to work in the last 72 hours. Anyway, sorry. Wingo's looking like 2022 worthy with the drops. Wouldn't be shocked to hear a broken hand story this year. Well, he's already wearing a cast with the thumb thing, so it's already kind of built in, is it not? Right? He wore a cast last game, but you know what? It's funny is the second half. Did you guys see him catch the ball with his hands? So he can do that. Did you see in the second half he made a contested catch over somebody vertically? He can do that. Even the touchdown that arched through, I know that like it's crazy. Like, he caught a RPO slant, but like ball had mustard on it, and he caught it with his hands, and his thumb is jacked up. We already know it is. He was literally wearing a cast on it. So I think it's a focus thing. Now they may put that out there to try to quell somebody, but you know That's just my 2 cents, but I appreciate the super chat, Devil Wonder. Really do. So let's see. Man, we were wrong about Akina, or the message takes more than a year to sink in. I would say we're wrong about Coach Akina. I feel comfortable saying that. Somebody in here earlier was talking about Nansen coaching the safeties. I heard that as well. Um, I mean, it's a mess. I'm not going to go into all that, but like people aren't even coaching who they thought they were being coached by, like inside the building. So no, like I don't know what the problem is. I've heard various things when it comes to Coach Aquina. Um, I'd like to be nice and just say that sometimes you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's a polite way of saying, everybody has their time. There's a thing I put on my Instagram story today about BK. That it was a good video that Max Brown put together, who former USC quarterback, does a lot of college football content, and he put out a video, 5 reasons why you can't be an asshole coach anymore, football coach in this environment in 2025, especially at this level, especially in college. Nobody's saying not everybody has to be Kumbaya or Kenny Dillingham or Marcus Freeman. Not everybody has to be that way. You got to have some enforcers on the staff. You got to have some OGs on the staff. But you also got to be able to communicate with kids and show the kids that you still have their best interests and show love. I'm not saying that's not Dwayne Aquina. I'm not saying that. But there's it's not happening. It's not happening. Do his players think does let me ask you a question. Does Kirby's players think he's an asshole? Or do they think he's a necessary evil to make them better? Do they see value in him? I'm not saying kids today can't get yelled at or won't, like, they want to know you ain't just trying to embarrass me, bro. Like it's way more nuanced today. Right? Like if you're saying something of value and you're not like this all the time, you're only, to me, it comes back to authenticity. Some coaches don't even try to figure out what the learning pattern is for that kid, just like teachers. Because it's very similar. Just like teachers, some teachers have a class of kids and the kid can't get something. They're like, he's a waste of time. He's not focused. He's not locking in. But that kid needs to learn. That kid's more of a visual learner. And this kid over here is more of a learner that can replicate anything. Like everybody has, some people have different styles of learning. And I think some of the better coaches today are the ones that have patience and can figure those things out. Nick Saban is able to. Nick Saban had a bunch of different personality types under his team. But one thing a lot of players will say is that inside the building, when the cameras aren't here, he wasn't a dick every day. They share stories about going to golf tournaments with Nick Saban all the time. So there was first of all, you cannot be an asshole to somebody you don't have a relationship with. That's number one. Dwayne Aquina, how many people, he didn't recruit these guys? None of them are here by him. It's one thing for Aquina to pull up on somebody. It's another thing for Blake Gideon or Terry Joseph to pull up on somebody because there's a relationship there. If I don't have a relationship with you as a new boss, you just come in and start talking shit. Bro, what? I don't even know you. I don't even know if you like me, if you even see value in me. So I'm sorry. We gotta define what asshole means. Brian Kelly was an asshole who did not care and did not show value to his players, to his staff. He treated people literally like trash. You can be an asshole when necessary and treat people well. You do not hear complaints of people from Nick Saban, even guys that left Saban's program. You don't hear complaints that he treated me badly. Yes, you see him holding people accountable on camera. You see Kirby Smart holding people accountable on camera. But Kirby Smart can tell you the most intimate detail about his players because he really cares. I don't even know if Brian Kelly knew everybody's name on the team, bro. Some of the stuff I've heard. Have y'all talked to your LSU friends about what was really going on over there? That's an asshole. There's a difference. I don't want just because you have a tough love type stuff. Come on, that there's a difference. Let me listen to y'all real quick because yeah, Kirby brought in Napier. Yep. Sorry, Dimple Wonder. I was getting back to your super chat. Homer said, "There's a difference between tough and belittling people. No one has ever liked to be belittled, regardless of generation." Well said. It's hard to be an asshole towards a kid that makes more money than you. Well, I mean, it's no different. Being if you coach in the NFL, you're coaching guys that make more money than you too. How do you hold them accountable? Now, again, you may not have signed up to be a pro coach, but that's the reality of the situation, right? If you're not coaching high school ball anymore, yeah, some of them make more money than you. You have to figure out an effective communication tactic other than throwing a tantrum when you don't get what you want or the player's not doing what you want. It's you have to figure out how to teach somebody because other people are doing it. How come Georgia's still able to hold their guys accountable? They're making money. We're not the only people paying people. I thought Taft was coaching the safeties. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. Who do you think needs to go? Secondary is awful. Offensive line's bad. I mean, yeah, I think we need a new secondary coach. I think Akina came in to fill a hole because Joseph. Remember, Blake Gideon went and became defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech, doing a great job his first year. And then Joseph left pretty late in the cycle. So it's not like we just. It's not like we had a whole bunch of options out there. Like there were connections. It was like, hey, let's bring our Godfather home. Blah blah blah. It felt right at the time, but it was also a very like last minute type thing from what I remember. Um, and I don't know. I think a lot of people just didn't question it because of his previous Texas ties. But we got to do. I think a lot of lessons learned, even for us, right? Even if somebody's coming back, just because you came back because you did something on the 40 20 years ago, don't mean shit today. We got to do your homework, right? Because everybody loves to talk about like all the DBs that Akina sent to the league back in the 2000s, but that was a different time, different era, right? He was probably a more patient man back then too. I mean, always a heck of a cuss. Don't get me twisted, but like it was a different time, right? Now you're coming into a room in the NIL era. You didn't recruit not a single one of these kids, not a single one, and you got to work with them, right? So I do think that creates a different dynamic, and I just asked like where he came from. I mean, I know he was at Stanford. He's been at a couple other places. Where how many NFL DBs has Dwayne Akina produced in the last 10 years? I don't know. Somebody tell me that. Maybe he's done well. Maybe he hasn't produced any. Like, what have you done for me lately? Is he still? Was he? And if he wasn't at a place where he could get NFL talent, was he producing all? Did he have a bunch of all conference guys that were solid players, right? Because NFL metrics not always fair, depending on where you're at. But you know, Were they all Pac-12 guys? Were they good? Did he have a good secondary there, or were they ass like this one? It was last like because any other coach at Texas that we would have brought in that you weren't as familiar with, y'all be all over their resume. Oh, wait a second, this guy, they were 43rd in pass defense last year. I don't know about this guy. Like, we would have been all over it. Akina came back. I couldn't even tell you where I mean, get off the bus, Bo. Yeah, there's a difference between Brian Kelly and Kirby Smart. there's a big difference. I agree, Homer. There's tough coaching and then there's bullies. You can take tough coaching if you know the coach is a good person. Some of those coaches are legit bad people like Brian Kelly. That's as simple as it gets. If you're authentic, we may not always jive, we may not always see things a certain way, but you know the difference between tough coaching and somebody that's an asshole. I, is that our only problem with the receivers? I would just like them to catch the ball. No, we don't know. But here's the thing. When the secondary struggled, here's the thing. When the secondary struggled a few years ago, y'all did not give this type of grace to Terry Joseph and Blake Gideon when they were young coaches. We didn't all of a sudden say, well, wait a second, how much control do they have and what are they allowed to do? I'm just playing devil's advocate right now. No one gave them grace. We were on their bumper. And in recruiting too, both of them. Every year we were on their bumper. And then once Blake Gideon started popping off and getting some 5-star safeties in here, and the recruiting pipeline looked good, and then Jade goes and becomes Thorpe, and people start getting drafted, we backed up. We backed up. Now, Gary Patterson did come in here that one year and helped. No doubt about it. But we did not give them. I'm just saying, if this was their group this year, y'all be all over them. So I'm just saying, I would like to think that we are just as fair in our critique both ways because we did not give them that type of grace. Some of y'all are afraid. Some of you, I'm not saying this is even you that just made this comment. I'm just saying in general. I think there are some people in this fan base that are even afraid to even consider the fact that Dwayne Akina is part of the problem because of how big his reputation is on the 40. And the reality is, both things can be true. You can be, and I'm not saying you're wrong either. I'm saying we don't know. But what I do know is typically how it works here at Texas is if that's your group and you've been promoted and everyone has publicly said that this is your group, these are your guys. Like he got all the praise up front about this is his group. Coach Akina's back. We about to be DBU again. All that noise was out here. When before the secondary became a big problem, because we hadn't played no quarterbacks yet, he was still getting credit. When they were doing minimal stuff, he was still getting credit. The moment they start underperforming, it's like, well, I don't know if Akina's how much say he has, blah blah blah. I don't know, man. Sometimes you're old and washed. It happens. It makes me sad too. Some of the legends I grew up with, to see somebody washed. Sometimes it happens. I'm just saying, you got to be fair. Well, it's not just Akina though. Mark Orphy, who Sark recently said is a rising star. Sark's words, not mine. So you still have Coach Orphy here. Now, what Coach Orphy does, I'm not super clued in on. I know what his job title says, but I don't know what he actually does, because people's job titles on the website don't necessarily align to what they're really doing inside the building. So I don't know. With that being said, I mean, you have Nansen, who's part of this, right? Is Nansen really the back end brain for PK, like Gary Patterson was, like Jimmy Lake once was? How much is Johnny Nansen a part of this? Right? We got a lot of new coaches on the defensive side. Akina ain't watched, he's on the spin cycle. Bro, but what, Chris? I've said that multiple times here in the conversation. We know Nansen's coach of the safeties. That's why I'm saying, wink, wink. There are people on the webs that by title that are coaching other positions that aren't publicized. So I'm not like Sark, like you said, like Corey Peacock. Sark got 6 titles. We got people. I mean, Jeff Banks out here coaching a whole bunch of people, and and just mid. That's another person I'm good on. Um, I think it's time to encourage. You know, we a lesson can be learned sometimes when maybe that coach that was up for that interview, maybe we should have just went ahead and pushed him ahead, and you know, yeah, because I'm tired of looking at Jeff Banks's face and turning up on turning up on Warren Roberson. I already know Warren Roberson was going to. I already know he was the one that held, because that's what he does on special teams. Now, his tape at corner wasn't too bad. he actually, he's actually not that bad at corner when he doesn't go off sides. But when it comes to kick return, all right, we already know it was him. So why are you yelling at him? He's been consistently been the problem. What's new? Why are you surprised? Is my question. Nanson's supposed to coach linebackers. All right. That reminds me, I got to switch the laundry. We haven't blocked a punt in 2 years. A punt, yeah. We've blocked kicks. We have blocked field goals. Ethan Burke has blocked a few field goals, but I don't remember. We haven't blocked a punt this year. I thought somebody got a punt this year. Chat, I'm embarrassed to ask this, but when's the last time we blocked a punt? You know who blocked a punt last week? Arkansas. Got a touchdown. Arkansas blocked. They blocked LSU's punt last week. So just alert, surprise. We should probably make sure we're astute for that. Also, somebody in the comments left a really good comment about kickoffs. Um, I forgive me because I don't remember the guy's name, but he said, and I got to wrap up in the next 5 minutes, but he said, when teams scouted us, looking at we were probably consistently bailing on on the thing on the kickoffs and jumping instead of obviously waiting for the ball to be kicked and fielded. And I thought it was an interesting comment because Georgia definitely scouted that too. That's something you definitely scout. I think we're emotionally scarred from 2022 TC. Texas had a punt block. Yeah, I mean it's time. It's been a good run. We've had some of the most consistency with these coaches, Flood included. For a lot of them, it's been a good run, but you got to stay ahead. You got to like. It's okay. We should also. This is the University of Texas. We should have the best coaches on staff. We should be developing the staff. We should be. Um, there's a video of Kirby talking about the inside kick. They saw it during the game. Yep. Yeah, because Jonah Williams was the only person that really even kind of reacted to it. And by the time he reacted, the ball was behind him. And Cash Jones was already in a full sprint. Jonah Williams was the only person that I even saw react. Everybody else was like, they kicked the ball off. Mark Vasquez, why? Let me ask you a question. When's the last time Texas played all 4 quarters of good ball? Why? Are you saying we don't have to win clean? We just have to win? Like, I'll ask y'all a question. Because my prediction is I think the game's on Saturday is going to be. I think the game on Saturday is going to be unhinged. I think Texas is going to win, and I think it's going to be like 47-40. I think it's going to be something crazy. That's what I'm predicting, especially if Anthony Hill doesn't play. I feel like this game's going to. I think there's going to be some wild shit we see in this game. I really do. It's a rivalry game. It's in the middle of the day. They are a mess. They make the worst mistakes at the worst time, and we're also a mess. And we make horrible mistakes at horrible times. We just happen to have a way better defense. But like, how like eye test matters. Florida, yeah. Thank you, Homer. We got to blow people out. I don't think y'all are understanding this. Like a 47-44 win doesn't do us good. It keeps us in the conversation, I guess. But Boise State made the playoffs because they had a different brother. Come on. Come on. Come on. Boise State had a completely different scenario. We're not in the G5. We're not in a thing where we only have to be. Boise State only had to be a certain position to get to where they needed to go. That is not the case with us. We're in the worst case where we're competing against a bunch of other teams from the same conference. Now, again, is it far-fetched that Vandy loses to Tennessee? Is it far-fetched that OU drops one of the 2 games and we're in the combo and things start to open up? No, it's not far-fetched. College football's crazy. But Texas has to do their part, and I question Texas doing their part because we haven't seen it. Like we're banking. We've seen spurts and sparks. Like, and I understand the people. Like, I also need to be fair. Like, and Mark, you're probably one of those people. Like, you're a Texas fan and you just want to believe the most positive, optimistic thing until it's dead. And I get that. And don't let me be the person to take that away from you. Because you can definitely gloat. in my face if you turn out to be right and I turn out to be wrong, 100%. So please don't let me take that away from you. If you're one of those fans where you only care about Texas and you're gonna ride or die until it's literally 0% chance, don't let me take that away from you. I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer in that sense, but my channel's based in reality. I feel like, and I mean, this is like we can't run the ball against good teams, guys. I'm gonna just say it. A lot of y'all are just a lot of y'all have already put in your minds that we've beaten A&M. That's not even like we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My concern about like I have several concerns in my mind, but some of my anxiety is like, bro, this Arkansas game coming up, we're just jumping ahead to like, all right, we beat Arkansas. Let's get ready for A&M. Or we're still hung up on the coach, whether he's going to the New York Giants today or the Falcons this day or the Titans this day or whoever. We're hung up on that, or we're hung up on A&M. Like we're talking about A&M when we're supposed to be playing Arkansas. It would be the most Texas thing ever for us to sit up here and lose the Arkansas game and then go turn up on A&M when we ain't got shit to lose at that point. That would be the most Texas thing ever. But because I don't think we're gonna go, I don't think we're gonna go 0-2 because inconsistent means goes both ways. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, we are a wide spectrum. We are a spectrum of everything, and that's why I think this game is gonna be out of control on Saturday. Because there's gonna be parts of us where we turn up and we look like that top 5 team we're supposed to look like for like a quarter, for like 2 quarters, and then there's other quarters where it's like this is garbage. This is garbage. So no, we're not gonna go. We're not gonna go 7-5. My prediction mark is Texas wins the game 47-40. I think it's gonna be out of control. And I think Bobby Petrino's gonna come in here and make some noise. Because that's what he does. And I'm very worried about our secondary. And I'm very worried about the bus we've been having that does not get fixed in a week typically. We didn't even fix it during the bye week. We didn't fix it during the bye week. Here's the thing. If we're just talking about coaching, I got Petrino over Mike Bobo. And Mike Bobo beat the shit out of us last week without a bye week. So I have now Mike Bobo also has better personnel than Bobby Petrino does, to be fair. But I don't know. They're gonna have to show me. They're gonna have to show me that they're gonna come out and really play good, clean, complimentary football. Because there's a world, where Texas can blow out Arkansas 100%. Arkansas is terrible as a team. But I mean, Kentucky's terrible, Florida's terrible, and we got our ass whipped on tape by Florida. Now the game ended up being one score, but we got our ass kicked in the trenches by Florida. They suck. So why am I going to sit here and act like we can we're just going to pop out and do something? we are all over the place, and we have that. That's why it's so difficult to describe this 2025 season because it's been a little bit of everything, good, bad, and indifferent. It's all over the place. But I think they win. They can't lose this game. They can't lose this game. I don't want to be on. I don't want to be here if they lose this game. They cannot lose this game. That's where we're going to end this conversation. Okay. Marlon's back drinking the Kool-Aid. I see. He couldn't. Marlon, you couldn't resist, brother. I see it. I see it. Just to get your heart broken again. Damn. I see it. They can't keep us out if we have 3 top 10 wins. They can't keep us out. We'll see. We'll see. All right. I will be here post game, as you guys know. Going on date night tomorrow night, so don't expect any lives or anything tomorrow unless there's like an emergency. But yeah, I will be back on Saturday post game. I know there's a lot of great tailgates going on this weekend. So hopefully the good energy coming on. Like this is like going to be the week of the tailgates for sure. Especially with Arkansas in town rivalry game. They typically travel really, really well. They traveled well the last few years to Arlington. So Marlon said, "I love love." He sounded like Wale. I love love. What can I say? Shout out to Wale. Everything's a lot. Um, but yeah, we will be back. I'll have typical Bleacher Report coverage, and then coverage on here on Fanatic Perspective. Hit that like button, show some love. Let me know in the comments what your score and outcome is for the game. You know, any key players, any key standouts. Do you? Hey, who's if Anthony Hill does not play, who can step up? Right? Is it Ty Anthony Smith? Is it Trey Moore? Will we see any young boys this week? Can we get some youth on the field? Can we potentially see the beginning of a youth movement here for Texas? You know, playoffs or not, we want to make sure that, you know, this team is still bought in, still engaged. Last 2 games of the year, rivalry games. So let me know in the comments. I appreciate y'all so very much. Remember, horns always up. Hook 'em.